Welcome to Sunshine MLS Plus. This short tutorial will cover selecting and adding comparable properties to an existing CMA. We're going to start by logging in, and from the welcome page we're going to go in the main navigation bar and click CMA, and we're going to select the CMA that we have been working on. It's called CMA Tutorial. We're going to select it from our list and we're going to click Load. And on the Comparables tab, which is where the CMA loading automatically takes us because it knows that's the next step that we need to be on, we can locate comparable properties one of three ways. We can do an MLS search, which allows us to search the MLS database for comparable properties. We can do a public record search, which allows us to search the tax data for a given county for comparable properties. Or we can create a custom property comparable, which should be used in cases where a recent sale happened outside of the MLS and perhaps is not yet reflected in the tax data from the appraiser that Sunshine MLS receives. So what we're going to do is we're going to do an MLS search. So we're going to click Search, and we're taken to the search screen for the residential property class. At this point you can input any kind of criteria that you wish to find your comparable properties, but we're going to do a saved search that we have that will give us comparable properties for this particular CMA. Once you've reached your search results, what you can do is take a look at all of the properties, take a look at their details, and figure out which properties you wish to put into the CMA. And once you figure that out, you can select the properties that you wish to add simply by clicking on the select box next to the properties, and all of them that you select will go into your session cart. From this point, once you're complete with selection of properties and you're satisfied with your comparable properties, you can say Save to CMA to have the properties added to the CMA that you're working on. So all of these properties that we've added are now in our Comparables tab. From this point, you can add more properties by doing another MLS search, by going into public records, or perhaps by adding a custom property, which let's go ahead and do that. We're going to add a custom property, and we know that it's sold for $160,900. So we're going to add that one. Now we have all of our comparable properties and we're satisfied, but we see that this particular property doesn't have a photo. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and say Change, and we're going to upload a photo from our computer because we happen to have a photo for this particular property. So we're just going to select it and we're going to say Accept, and now it has a primary photo attached to this particular property. Our custom property also doesn't have a photo, so we can leave it as is without a photo, or we can click Change on it as well, choose a photo from our computer, and upload it into our custom property. We can also change the order of the properties as they appear in the list by using the up and down arrows next to each one and changing the order. And we can also likewise remove a property that may not be a good comparable for whatever reason. We can remove it from our list by clicking on the red X next to the particular property. Once you're satisfied with the management of your comparables, you can move on to making adjustments by clicking on the Adjustments tab, which is covered in a different tutorial. This concludes our tutorial on selecting comparable properties into an existing CMA.